Hello and welcome to The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and as always, I'm joined by Dylan.
It's me.
And, boy, oh boy.
We're branching out for this one.
I mean, we're sticking to our guns for another gruesome, twosome episode that we normally do.
Right. It's within the ballpark.
Right. A lot of times.
You just got a different batter.
Yeah. You know how it is. We watched a movie called Gamera 3, Revenge of Iris.
Yes.
And I have never watched any Gamera movie.
He hasn't.
I have not seen any Gamera.
Mm-hmm. I've made the wayward mention here and there as like a tertiary monster within the same vein as like the Godzilla films.
Right.
But I wanted to hold off on showing anything like Gamera related. Because he's like the second biggest kaiju, I think, as far as notoriety goes.
Okay.
And even then, I mean, I don't think a lot of people know about him, so.
I didn't think so.
Mm-mm.
So yeah. Oh man. This feels like a good classic Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Mm.
I mean, you know, in that same vein where it's
Right.
like we have some action happening.
Big monsters.
Big monsters, some destruction.
Wacky human subplot.
Right. The suits weren't that far off from, like, I feel like something I'd seen in a Godzilla movie.
Oh,
so.
yeah. They are quality.
Right. For those of you at home, I am kind of like on the tail end of a sickness, so if I still sound a little congested and a little gross
A wee bit nasally.
I apologize. I know I don't like the way I sound right now.
Right.
So just wanted to preface that.
We have excuses, you see.
Right. So have you seen the other two? You've seen the whole gamut of the gamut of Gamera. Right. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was able to catch these on one of the many random like movie channels through like on demand.
Basic cable.
Right.
Wow.
You could find anything on there. If you stayed up late enough.
Oh, yeah.
And,
if you sat there long enough, you could find some shit on there.
More often than not, that's how I came across these things. But, man, I think out of the three, the second one would probably have to be my favorite. At least of this Heisei era for Gamera.
So why choose this one out of curiosity?
Because it's the only one I have.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see.
Yeah. I know they've got like a trilogy of like a DVD set out there somewhere, but I'd have to order it.
I see.
But yeah, I found this Blu-ray version of the third film at Second and Charles.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. What a fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this movie just basically runs through the same kind of way like a Godzilla movie does. Mm-hmm. There's some like hints to magic.
Right.
There is
some sort of spiritual entity.
Yeah, there is an antagonist creature of some kind that is kind of a pest in some way, or whatever. That may not be a real Godzilla thing, but there's something.
Whatever Godzilla fights ends up being something pretty fucking big.
Right, you know how it is. But then we start off with like
Gamera is like a glorified janitor.
He is the cleanup man.
Right. Taking care of pests left over from millennia's past.
Right. And of course, we start off this movie and a young girl loses her parents because her dad's a little too curious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He just wants to get pictures of stuff. Well, and I think also they're trying to get their family cat.
For some reason.
Coincidentally named Iris as well.
Right.
So I think that's where the inspiration comes, if you catch my drift.
Dude, it's the cat's revenge.
It's the revenge of the cat.
The spirit of the cat possessed the monster.
Yes. The spirit of the cat becomes a primordial
tentacle demon.
Tentacle demon monster. So anyways, we'll just go ahead.
We'll get to
We'll
that.
go ahead and hold on to that, Jim, and set that aside because we'll unpack that later. This girl, of course, you told me that Gamera is the, what was it, savior of all children?
Yes, the friend to all children.
The friend to all children.
Right.
And that's an old title, apparently.
Yeah.
That's
how he started.
He looks kind of scary looking in these.
Yeah, he
looks like a monster.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's sharpened a bit.
Yeah, he's got edges on him.
Kids ain't quite so important anymore, as opposed to just eradicating this infestation of vampiric pterodactyl monsters.
It's almost as if saving the children is like the byproduct of what the real goal here is.
Right. It's just a secondary objective.
Right.
Optional, even.
It's his side quest. His main goal he has, which is wipe out this vermin.
Kill the bitches, save the kids.
Right. In that order.
End of story. That's your job.
And if there happens to be collateral damage, that's your fault.
Too fucking bad.
Too freaking bad.
Shouldn't have built so many cities.
You shouldn't have built so much shit in my way.
Right.
You should have built so much shit in smashing distance. Mm-hmm. So anyways, she gets mad because, again, the apartment complex or the building that her family is living in, her brother was not with her at the time, but she was with them. And building gets crushed by Gamera.
Dead.
So she gets mad at Gamera because of her...
Blames an animal.
Blames the accident of Gamera on the stupidity of her parents in some way. But anyways, so she kind of holds a grudge towards Gamera. I mean, I can understand.
For some reason.
I can understand in some way why you'd probably be a little upset.
He killed my parents.
But then again, it's also like...
what are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
You're going to fight him?
Yeah. I dare you. Square up.
Right. See what happens.
Bring your biggest stick.
He won't even notice you.
No. Oh, man. I love the term bring your biggest stick.
Right.
I dare you.
It won't do much.
It won't. I can guarantee it. So then we have a couple of sequences of like day in the life. Well, what is it called? Like the animes?
Slice of life.
Slice of life animes.
Right.
We got like the walking to school shots. We
got
the
bullied by a bunch of bitches.
Oh my God.
The Three Stooges.
There are these three girls that are trying to bully this girl for being different and not being in the same town and blah, 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 blah. Like nonsense middle school
Standard
shit.
bull.
I wasn't really following along what they were trying to get her to do. They were trying to get this like stone out of a cave.
Fetch this rock from this ancient barbed wire cottage.
Right.
And we'll leave you alone.
And it's like, okay.
Sorry, no, we'll overlook some things.
Right. And it's like, okay, weird.
Whatever. How about I don't know, like stab you?
The bully, at some point during the altercation, the bully looks at the girl and says, "You got a big mouth." and the girl turns around and doesn't really say anything, but I said something for her and says, "You got a big head."
Yeah.
and Dylan thought that was
fuck
really...
out of here with your 5 head, bitch.
Get the frick out of here with your big-ass head.
I'd say you have no room to speak, but you got too much room.
Oh, man.
You could just write sentences on your forehead.
I just thought it was so funny that, like, I thought it was so good because Dylan thought it was so funny.
Right.
Made me feel good about the joke.
What a thing to say. Not among the repertoire of comebacks I'd come to expect.
At that point, it's like you're dealing with a I'm assuming middle school, early high school bully. So it's like, I mean,
it sounds like something
you just gotta clap back with some nonsense.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Anything will work.
Yeah, right.
They'll get mad over anything.
Right. You just gotta shut them down real good.
Right. Absurdity is the only true weapon in this scenario.
I'm just thinking of more absurd things to say. Just more.
You got big eyes.
Yeah. You got a big mouth. That's a lot coming. That's rich coming from someone with a buck teeth ass mouth. Look at that ass. Freaking
Dennis
horse
didn't do much
teeth.
for you, did it?
Oh man. Oh man. Anyways, So there's like this whole altercation between the whole bullies thing and stuff, and then I think she kind of comes across this like egg thing question mark.
She lifts up an anti-monster stone that was laying on top of where this egg was.
Yes.
Throughout the course of like what seems like a couple weeks and or days, this thing hatches.
Right.
And of course she goes back there for some reason and decides, oh, I'm gonna raise this little snail tentacle creature.
So I think that she happens upon this gem, and it looks like a fang or like a claw or like a weird kidney.
Yeah.
The broken ones look like kidneys. They're like a red tinge to it. It's like this black thing. It looks kind of like the claw of of something, or like you just imagine like, or you know what, a comma, like a little round spot with like a little dangly bit at the bottom.
Yeah.
It looks like a comma, and it's like a gem, and it's like you can hold it in your hand. It's like pretty big. And apparently, I think it gives you some sort of like spiritual link with the monster in question.
Yeah. A telepathic connection.
So she finds it before, it's either before or right during whenever the egg hatches.
Yeah, it's after it hatches.
So she kind of gets this, she wears it and kind of like links this bond with this creature, which is why she wants to take care of it, because it gets her, quote unquote.
Right.
Which I'm like, or I get the monster, and it's like, if you say so.
It's just like me, for real.
If you say so, Diane. Live your life.
I mean, she won't be for much longer.
Yeah, you're right. There's been a couple times she got slurped up good.
Yeah.
Gross. Anyways.
I hate that you're right.
Yeah. I hate that you're disgusting. So correct.
If Ethan were here, he'd be squelching all over the place.
Yeah, oh yeah, so hard. So anyways, where was I going with the whole... Oh, yeah, is it whenever the monster dies, like the talisman gem,
the stone
breaks?
Will break.
Okay, so there's like a bunch of like old gems that they have at one point in time in the movie, and they're trying to like understand them in some way, and they're all kind of shattered, and they all look a little bit like kidneys. That's why I said that.
This is after they came across a Gamera graveyard at the bottom of the ocean.
Right, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
He was mass-produced.
Really?
Same deal with the Gauss.
Wow.
Biological weaponry.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane, but it's also kind of cool.
Scary.
Yeah.
So. But anyways, so we end up, she ends up like raising this creature of some kind, and it turns out to
have a very ravenous appetite.
Oh yeah, it goes from, sucking up cans of tuna to like sucking the life out of humans at some point. Yeah. Or I guess I'm sorry.
Local wildlife.
The local wildlife. I guess we got to tiptoe our way into that. Right. After it starts sucking up the wildlife, it gets caught in the jungle by her, and it was like kind of sad because it was alone or whatever. Maybe.
It was just taking a break.
That's what she said. Down. So I'm just going by what she said, because apparently she has this like magical
bond. Anything.
She doesn't know bullshit. Yeah, right. So she thought,
man, my dog squid.
Yeah, my squid monster is. So so that way you know, it's like it's Gamera-esque in the fact that like in its younger form, imagine how do I say this? Imagine a turtle shell. A pretty big turtle shell. I mean, like, like a tortoise or something.
Right.
But then imagine like a head that kind of looks like a tentacle. It's like orange, yellow in color, and it has like a smooth head.
Right.
It kind of looks like a dinosaur, or like some sort of dragon.
Yeah, it's got a crest of sorts.
Yeah, on its head. Two black beady eyes, no mouth.
Yeah.
Kind of weird looking, but also like I can understand how it could be kind of cute looking.
Right.
The part where it
squeaks.
The part where it loses me is at the numerous tentacles it has.
Yeah, it's a bit too many for my taste, I gotta say.
Then I get really turned off by it. And I want to say in that younger form it had 4, 8. I mean, who knows?
Yeah, like 6.
6-ish.
But as it grows, it
oh my god,
sprouts many more.
So again, just know that, like, again, it goes. Just imagine this cute, semi-cute thing in your mind.
Right.
As it grows, it gets bigger, and in this altercation where she meets it in the forest. It finally finishes eating like a raccoon or a wolf, or I don't know what the heck it was.
Some kind of dog.
The carcass of an animal.
A wolverine, perhaps.
And I mean, it grows.
Yeah. Exponentially.
And it stands up proud on its tentacles.
Right.
And then we're at that point now where we have numerous tentacles holding this beast up, and then there's a handful of these tentacles that are just like flailing about.
Right.
And you're like, oh god.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I'm out.
I don't like how squirmy it is.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening right now, but I'm not about it. And then, of course, if Ethan was here, we know all what we would hear.
Yep.
I've seen enough hentai to know
where
this is going.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone
could draw that conclusion nowadays.
I feigned away from saying that quote as many times as I could in this movie.
The urge was...
It happened so many times. I was like, I feel like I'm going to burst at the seams if I don't say it. I didn't, but I was like, there's a couple times where I was like, damn.
Just sitting there like...
It's finna get freaky in here. Dude, I'm telling you.
It comes dangerously close.
The first time she's standing there, and I don't know if this was a reference to like to show off the talisman for the first time,
right?
Or if this was some sort of like low key sexual thing. Whenever it stands up proud and it's standing there and it's like flailing its tentacles about and it's like standing there.
Yeah, it starts like inching closer and it's
but then she's like, I feel hot.
It's like, oh
and then,
no!
And then she unbuttons like 2 buttons out of her like her schoolgirl like button-up shirt.
Like,
and I'm like, what is happening? And then of course it shows off the gym. So I was like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, I get what we're doing here.
Yep,
but then at that point, this is when right as you start to feel that like, okay, maybe.
Like, whoa, hang on now.
Yeah, and then the tentacles grab her and like
no,
and caress her head and suck her in nice, and you're like, oh god, what is it?
Like no,
please no. And then before you know it, she's oh god, I don't even know.
The metamorphosis begins.
Yeah, he like huddles up around her and like cocoons her in this
kind of fusion dance I want to do.
Yeah, no. And then I think I said something about what did I say? Assimilate. Assimilate.
Yeah.
And you were like, I'm pretty sure that's
just what happened.
It's just what's happening right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, okay, I guess like.
Wow, gross.
Yeah, I'm not happy that I called it.
Yeah.
So
of all the things to be right about.
Right, and all the while, all this is going on, and again, it's very much like a Godzilla movie, at least one of the classic ones, where there's a lot of like in between all this. I mean, riveting action I'm talking about here.
Right.
There is
You want to talk about the opening scene where Gamera's like chasing a Gauss
oh my
into
god.
the city.
Yes.
And he mutilates the
oh my god.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
the puppet work on that thing was phenomenal.
Terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
He burns up one like by like spitting a fireball out of the sky and hitting him, and he falls to the ground. This like almost pterodactyl like creature, which is like the pests we're talking about.
Right.
And it didn't quite die, and so he comes Beyblading in with his like little rocket feet. He comes flying in. And then lands down just to finish the job because apparently like he's here to do business.
Like, I can feel that you're still alive. I ain't done with you yet, motherfucker.
And the puppet work, the one thing I will say they did a really good job on is that like they like coated it in liquid or whatever, or they coated it in some sort of like shiny material that like a lot of times, like for instance, the head and the tentacles of Iris in the scene that we just finished talking about, like he has this kind of like glossy finish as if he would be
well lubricated.
As always well lubricated. Oh Jesus. But this is another one of those aspects of this is a puppet, but it looks fleshy and like the skin has been burned and bloodied because that's kind of what happened. So like it is like mangled and like the left eye is like hanging out of its socket by of course like the stem or whatever you want to call it, and it's like it's like panicking and freaking out.
Shit out.
I mean, justifiably,
of course.
And it's also like missing skin and burned and like it looks bloodied and gross, and it's like that shit.
He lets it
like,
take for a bit, like he's just watching this thing suffer.
Yeah, he's like,
this is what you get. Stay out of my fucking airspace.
Yeah. Stay out of my airspace. I just imagine. Oh man, we put you out of your misery.
Right.
Send this to your brethren. Stay out of my freaking airspace, bitch.
This dude's fireballs.
Oh, dude,
are certifiable nuclear weapons.
I'm telling you. So if Godzilla has what is it? A plasma atomic breath. He just straight up has fire breath or fireballs. I would say. He just he just hawks a loogie and it explodes. It's catastrophic. Yeah, right. And it's
devastating.
It's amazing at the same time. But he really can light a handful of blocks on fire with no effort.
Before nice pyrotechnics.
Whole city's on fire. You're like, I don't even know how this happened.
It's like, woof.
Right.
It was just one of them, man.
Yeah, right.
It was dying already.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, there's I hesitate to call him the love interest. He's like the friend that's a guy that kind of cares about our main character girl.
Right.
He is kind of getting interested in, because I think the how the plot works out is like his family has this is obviously, again, rinse and repeat from an old Godzilla storyline. It's like
have a King Caesar type family.
Exactly.
Hanging around.
I was just about to say that. They have like a pact to like keep this monster sealed away because it will bring the end of the world.
Yeah.
If something was to happen to it, kill it with this ancient
10-inch dagger.
10-inch dagger.
Yeah.
The grandma had said that. That was the official name for those of you at home who didn't know that.
Right.
Make sure to take the 10-inch knife with you. It's like, oh, all right.
You've heard of the 1-inch Punisher.
Yeah.
And the 3-inch Nightcrawler.
Yes. But now.
The 10-inch dagger.
The 10-inch dagger. And he, like, later on, whenever he actually reveals this weapon, it is not pretty.
No.
I was expecting something shiny and nice. And
right. A well-kept blade.
Opulent.
Or something so important.
Nah. You ever seen a recovered Viking blade?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about what we're talking about here.
Dilapidated.
Yeah.
Not even... It looks like the blade's just going to, like, crumble.
Yeah.
At the slightest hint of impact.
You ever seen, like, bark that has been, like...
of a tree.
It's been thoroughly burned, so it's kind of ashy.
Yeah.
But, like, when you pick it up, you could probably just, like, give it a good squeeze and it's going to crumble.
Yeah.
It's exactly what the knife
looks like.
is. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Solidified cigarette ashes.
Right. It's solidified cigarette ashes. This knife is from the cigarettes of your great-great-grandmother.
Been bound by the family for generations.
Yes. This is the only thing that has enough hate and malice brewed into it. From all
nicotine.
Nicotine that can kill a monster in one fatal swoop. I lost character. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus.
That's so good. But anyways, I just love the idea of a weapon that has been born of hate.
That's a real death stick.
It's a real death stick.
Yeah.
I just love the idea. And I told him, I told Dylan, I was like, he grabs the knife and I was like, just make sure to get your tetanus shot before you use it.
Right.
Because it looks...
There's a reason that thing's wrapped up, okay?
It looks dirty.
Yeah.
Anyways, I just like the idea in my mind of just like a weapon that's been forged and all the hate has been passed down, from generation to generation.
Generational hate.
Yes, exactly.
That's a hell of a hate to keep around.
Yeah. Each year we all circle around the dagger and just
say hate,
and we just summon up all of our hate and then just imbue it with that energy.
Right.
That's
funnel it in.
That's one thing I heard while I lived in Canada from somebody that also wasn't from Canada.
I thought you were about to say that also kept a centuries-old knife.
Yeah, he was a friend of mine. He had a centuries-old knife. No, but he was like, "Do you know why Canadian people are always so laid back and so chill, or so nice, as people would say?" And I was like, "No, why is that?" And he's like, "Each year we all come together, summon up all our hatred and rage, and then just summon it in the form of Canadian geese."
Oh my God!
We're all nice people, but the geese are just that epitome of
incarnations.
Assholes. Yeah, exactly. That is the
they're not born; they're made.
Yeah, they're made. That hatred is not born; it is made.
Right.
And those geese are made with it.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so this knife is supposed to be able to kill this monster that is untold evil and
right. A demon,
tentacles galore.
Mm-hmm.
He comes running back over there, and of course, this egg sack, for lack of a better term,
right,
is holding his friend, and she's like, getting all assimilated.
Right.
The merge has begun, and then like any good guy would do at that point, I guess he grabs
like any good guy with a knife.
He just stabs
right
it
out,
and it just
is
this
the most disgusting noises and look that I have ever seen.
It's a sack of fluid,
and
I
can't.
It looks like and you said this before, which is why I'm going to say it again. I wouldn't say this. It's because Dylan said this.
Right.
It is always well lubricated. It looks like clear lube.
Yeah.
He just pokes it, and it's just this like clear viscous liquid pours out. And I'm like,
what happened to me?
Yeah, and you're like,
I had to cut you out of a lube sack.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You lost me at lube sack. Oh God, I'm so disgusted.
Really gotcha.
I don't know why. It was just the fact that you said. I think it's more along the lines of the fact that I'm just imagining waking up from a coma, going, "Oh, what happened?" And you looking at me with just this stern, stoic look, going,
"Lube sack.
I had to cut you out of a lube sack." I'd be like, "Wait, what?" I'm so disgusted and mortified.
I'd vomit right then and there.
Yeah. I'm not gonna make it. Oh man,
Iris starts out super disgusting.
Yeah,
like one of the grossest and somehow cute things you've ever seen. But
right,
man, does he have a glow up?
Man, there's a point in time where he's in the forest doing his business, and like he's
punching and a crunching.
I mean, he's like
anything and everything.
He literally there's like this really like cute scene of a guy and a girl in their teenage years,
right?
And they're kind of like in a group, but then they like run off in the forest together. Yeah. He's kind of chasing her because she's kind of like leading him on,
right?
As like we're gonna probably get freaky out in the forest or whatever.
Freaky in the forest.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Got the boink in the bark.
Boink in the bark. Freaky in the forest is my favorite anime. It's not what you think it's about. God. But he as they're like about to kind of like like nothing actually happens, they stop, and of course there's just this massive demon monster there. Right. And at this point,
puts a stop to that.
Like Dylan said, he is like
not in my forest.
He has gotten a glow up. He has like, I mean, his face looks like it is this like
a metallic crest has grown over.
All right, grown
with
over
a
his head.
Eye.
Yeah.
Looks so cool.
He still has this kind of crazy like Gamera-esque shell thing.
Yeah.
But then he has like this, like his chest has all these like glowing like colors of
he's got lights,
green, purple, and blue and stuff. So it's like this kind of interesting like iridescent look
RGB.
To it. RGB looking. Yeah, exactly. He looks like a gaming keyboard. but then he also has his tentacles now have like
these metal tips that can expand and open.
Right. It's kind of weird. But anyways, the point that I'm making is these two kids out in the forest. He grabs the girl, and of course the guy is like kind of panicking, doesn't know what to do.
Right.
The girl gets like flung around, and then proceeds to get the life sucked out of her.
Yeah.
And he drops.
Not but a husk remains.
It looks like you'd imagine like a cartoon.
A mummified corpse.
Yeah, like a mummified corpse.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like greenish skin. It's all like all gaunt and like like all dried out.
Yeah.
And of course, stuff. Like anybody would do, the guys just sort of like just like screaming, freaking out. But yeah,
standard fare. He knew what part to play.
I mean, you're a screamer. Just do your part,
right? If you got the lungs,
use them. But anyways, he proceeds to like gallivant around, sucking the life out of everybody,
right?
And then like growing exponential in size. And then by the time we get to like the end of this movie, where like the big fight sequences, like the climax of what's happening here, this dude has where do you even begin?
He's got wings.
He had. Well, I was going to get to that. It is. Let's say he has 8 tentacles. To be honest, I didn't count because, again, to be honest,
there's so many.
I didn't want to.
Right.
I don't want to know.
That would take some time.
It's almost as if each pair of 2 has this magical,
like film.
I was going to say membrane, but I guess film where it's just as gross. It is this like blue kind of like
shimmering,
like almost like force field kind of thing between each of the 2 of them, and of course apparently it can resist wind in some way, so it can work as wings. He
also has jet thrusters.
Of course. Why not at this point? So as he's flying, there's like, some, like I said earlier in this episode, there's like, it always cuts away to like different military shots of things, as you'd imagine. So like, airplanes, guns,
tanks,
army men,
The standard.
The whole fair.
Mm-hmm. Oh, jeez.
But then, as he's flying around, it's just this big thing, and I was like, and I told Dylan, I was like, it reminds me of Bahamut.
Yeah.
From Final Fantasy.
Like, this dude's just a Final Fantasy
He
monster.
looks like a Final Fantasy monster.
Yeah.
And then Dylan's like, you know what? You're not
right.
far off.
It's pretty
accurate.
pretty close.
He looks like a Final Fantasy character, or a Final Fantasy like boss.
Right.
So anyways, there's a whole bunch of stuff that happens. The final fight sequence is like really cool. I love it.
How about that dogfight in the sky?
Oh yeah.
Above a typhoon.
Cool. Yeah, above the typhoon.
Oh yeah, Gamera can fly.
Yeah. I don't understand how, and I never asked
by
why.
Spinning or like taking the form of a jet.
Yes. He just has like rocket propelled feet.
Turtle.
I don't know how it works. I don't
Bioengineering.
Yes. There's a couple of times where there's like whenever they're fighting in the sky, he gets stabbed and gets like kind of left for dead. You're like, oh no, he's not going to make it.
Right.
And then as Iris gets on the ground and the girl like communicates with her telepathically and is like, you know, trying to like control it or whatever. And, you know, shit's going down. I mean, Gamera comes in hot.
Oh, yeah.
Like a nuke.
He is furious.
I mean, he is one fist in front of him away from being Superman diving
right.
just into the ground.
He is currently taking the form of a bunker buster missile.
Yeah. He's sitting there, mouth agape, just screaming.
Yeah.
Flying down from the heavens. And it's like, just when you think that, like, you know, like your enemy has been gone, just to like, I believe what we said whenever we saw him come out of nowhere, like, oh shit, here he comes.
Yeah.
And he's just screaming and just flying down there. And I was like, I never said I was finished.
Yeah.
It's like,
you think we're done? You think you're safe down there?
No, definitely not. So yeah, the altercation increases.
Love that sequence.
So good.
Fires off a few fireballs.
Oh yeah, just
bats them away.
Shit. Just tears up a whole, like
Kyoto gets fucked up.
It's like there's like a whole train station. He just like destroys it. Iris and the mini tentacles are able to like stab him in the arm and like suck out his energy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And he like is like losing some power.
Right.
And then of course the other tentacles can now apparently summon fireballs because like, I got your power now.
Right.
But then like in this like last ditch effort,
he looks at his arm for a split second, looks back at Iris, and then shoots a fireball at his own hand and blows it off.
Right there at the wrist.
Himself. And at this point, Iris is like, she is about to fire.
yeah, it's about to fire like 2 fireballs at him.
He holds up his nub like in the way of the fireballs and takes in the energy to form a flame hand.
Before we even get there to that point, he blasts his own arm off, and then of course, like anybody would in that moment, which I think is so great for a monster, like imagine the camera is on his left side. He blasts the fireball, blows off his right arm, camera jumps to right side, he turns to the camera and goes, ah! And just like screams in pain, and it's like, holy shit.
Like that fucking hurt.
Yeah, he just stands there and just goes, as anybody would, just like, oh, damn it.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
And then that's what he does. He steps back for a while and is like sitting there like, he's a gaping hole in his chest from being stabbed.
Oh, yeah.
He is now missing his arm, and he's sitting there, he's just like, I was like, oh man, this is going to be so cool. And then the fireballs get blasted at him, and he just, I mean, like Dylan.
Takes it like a champ.
I mean, just like, it's almost like the fireball just like gets stuck at what would be his hand, and I'm like, what's happening? The fireballs have stopped, and then of course before you know it, he just like conjures the energy of it,
and it turns into a flame hand.
He has a flame hand now,
and
I'm
at
like,
this point, of course, I make the joke,
erupting,
burning finger.
It's so good.
And so he already like dug his hand into this motherfucker's chest to try and get this girl out after she was absorbed, like for the 3rd time. Just can't stop. And
she gets
rips it out.
She gets slurped up a 2nd time, or 3rd time, or whatever.
And then he drives his hand into this dude's chest and explodes him.
Oh my god, yeah. After harnessing the ability of the fireballs in his hand, he then
performing the second Tenkyoken.
Yeah, he then jams his like very what is it called? When a very lethal hand into his chest, and then proceeds to release whatever energy there was, blowing him the
like
frick
shoving
up.
a bomb in your chest.
Yeah, and then it's like, I'll just let it go like right about now.
Right.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
Crazy.
Master Asia would be proud.
Yes. Ethan will be proud. I feel like
I can't, dude. We're watching so much shit that I wish Ethan would be here for, because he'd be flipping his lid.
I know. Man, Gunbuster was fun.
It was.
Yeah, Gunbuster was a fun one. So, anyways, as we get to the end of this movie, like, I mean, the girl ends up making it out alive. You know, after Gamera's just sitting there watching her, like, get up. I didn't do all this friggin' work.
I didn't unsack you.
I didn't
die on me right
you.
here.
Oh, don't say unsack you.
What do you want me to say?
That's
what happened.
You're right. I didn't remove you from your second lube sack today, just for you to die on me, you little ungrateful bitch.
Oh my god!
Gamera,
the friend to all children.
Friend to all children.
I'm not about to watch a child die in front of me.
Gets smothered out by freaking iris goop.
If you do, I'm gonna blow up this building. Oh man!
Oh man, what a fun time that is.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to touch on this first.
Please, I have to know.
As we end this movie, I didn't know what the movie, like the name of the movie, was to begin with. The original name is Gamera 3: Revenge of Iris. That is the official working title. Mm-hmm. But at the end it says Gamera 3. What is it?
The absolute guardian of the universe.
Yes. And I was like,
Gamera 1999, I believe.
You're right. That it does say that. Mm-hmm. Well, so after seeing that, I was like, is this another
wonder.
Is this another Godzilla moment?
Could this perhaps be a fighting in Starfield moment?
Yes, exactly. And so I looked it up. Here are some alternate titles for Gamera 3: Revenge of Iris. The alternate American title was Gamera 3: Awakening the Iris.
Oh.
And Iris is actually spelled IRYS instead of another I, so don't know what that means. The English-Japanese title, which I'm assuming is the Japanese title that is being translated into English, I guess, it says Gamera 3: Incomplete Struggle.
Incomplete Struggle.
And
that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
We didn't even touch on the subs.
At first, I think I read this wrong. I thought it said Gil, but I think it just says G3 or like GIII. Yeah. So an alternative English-Japanese title is Roman numeral 3, The Guardian of the Universe.
Right.
Which is cool.
One of his many titles.
United Kingdom had a Gamera, Absolute Guardian of the Universe.
God damn, that's so good.
And then the Germany title, which this is the last and probably the best out of all of them.
Yeah.
It says Gamera 3: Evil God Iris Awakening.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so
that's awesome.
Love that. So
Evil God Awakening.
Yeah.
Sounds like the subtitle for a super move.
Yeah, it does.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, what a fun time that was.
Mm-hmm. I think we're gonna go with that one.
Oh yeah.
What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah.
Evil God Awakening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Either that or lube sack.
Oh,
it has to be one or the other.
I don't like lube sack at all. I'll put lube sack in the description.
Okay, all right, fine.
It says that Iris is the sole monster in the Gamera series who has no mouth.
Wow. Yeah, they put enough of a focus on a lot of these monsters that they eat people.
Yeah, you're right.
The Gauss especially. That's like their main threat, other than the the beam that they fire has like a crazy name for it. I can't remember what it was though.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I remember it being funny, though.
It says that Iris's adult form was portrayed by the suit actor Akira Ohashi, who played Gamera himself in the previous film.
Oh, wow.
Despite the critical acclaim, or despite their critical acclaim, none of the Heisei Gamera films matched the box office success of the Heisei Godzilla and Mothra films.
You can't.
Though they were still successful in their own right, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. You want to talk about how every review we saw for this was a 5 out of 5?
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure. It just says right here.
We've done it. We found the perfect movie.
We found it. Sci-fi horror film from 1990.
Buried
1999.
beneath the garbage.
Yep. It just says audience reviews, so I'm pretty sure it's just on Google probably, but it has 10 reviews, and all 10 are 5 stars.
That's good enough.
Good enough for me.
That's 100%.
Yeah, it's 100% in my book. It says that the director has mentioned that he wanted to give the relationship between the girl and the monster Iris a more spiritual connotation, as he felt that there was a lack of spirituality among Japanese youths at the time.
Well, I don't know where the fuck that was supposed to come in, because
you definitely made it seem very
not spiritual.
Very freaky.
Very something else.
I don't think you helped any of the youth of Japan, or anybody really.
Oh, you may have awakened something.
You have awakened their love for tentacles, I think.
Right.
To scale the size of the rain with the monsters, the special effects director used sand to simulate that.
Oh, wow.
It's interesting. I don't know how that works, but it's kind of cool. Oh, I think I know exactly how it works. You just pour sand down. It looks like a bunch of rain from a distance that are just going. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Pretty neat.
The film had a rather long production time for a Japanese film, well over a year. For comparison, the Godzilla films of the time were generally only given a few months.
Wow.
The director credits the film's quality to this, stating that if there's a choice between time or money, having more time is beneficial to a filmmaker. Towards the end of filming,
it did have some good shots.
Yeah, it did.
First,
like some really
versus
good
screen.
Yeah,
whenever they're about to have that final bout.
Yeah,
love that one.
Towards the end of filming, when the swarm of Gyaos approach Gamera, they can be heard emitting the classic screech that they do.
Have you seen what he looked like originally?
I have. It's a little goofy looking. He looks really cool looking.
Oh man.
It actually says that Gamera's breath was done with dry ice through the suit.
That is so cool.
To make it kind of like smoky and cool looking.
He looks amazing.
The choice of placing the final battle in Kyoto has cultural significance, as the guardian of the city is said to be Genbu, the black tortoise, in Japanese equivalent. Oh, the black tortoise in Japanese equivalent of the 4 symbols of Chinese mythology. Cool. What a fun time.
Yeah.
It says Japanese film, Gamera. Okay.
Yeah.
Despite Gamera being a turtle, none of the Heisei trilogy films were overt references to turtles. The director would later confirm turtles do not exist in the Heisei Gamera universe.
Really?
Apparently.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah, because I can only imagine how many jokes like characters in the movies would make about the guy.
Probably
like,
so.
Man, he's pretty fast for a big-ass tortoise.
Yeah, look how big he is. If we scare him, he'll go in his shell.
I'd hate to see what the fucking hair looks like.
Yeah, he's a snapping
How long's that
turtle.
race been going on?
Yeah, right.
Jesus Christ.
Jeez. What a fun time.
Yeah.
It
was something else. How'd you feel?
I like it. I mean, it was definitely, I like it because it felt reminiscent to a Godzilla film.
Yeah.
But it felt unique in its own way.
Mm-hmm.
And like we just read from the fun facts, I can tell that more. I mean, this is also 99, so it doesn't feel so kind of quirky as some of the older Godzilla films.
Yeah, it takes itself very seriously.
But I also think that, I mean, you're right, but I think it also, like, the areas that, there are areas in the film that have benefited from having a longer production time, and I could see it, just like the director said, because I believe that.
Oh, yeah.
There's some quirks in the old Godzilla films, and it makes you question, like, was that like a design choice, or was that just like a restriction? Yeah, accident, or how does that work? A lot of times it's probably just because they didn't have any time. Just like, we gotta get this shit cranked out.
Slap it together.
Right. Make it happen.
But man, I don't know what it is. Like, comparing this to, like, even any of, like, the older Godzilla films is weird. Because as far as, like, this genre of giant monster films go, I mean, I can only ever watch Godzilla.
Oh, same. I'm not saying this will probably ever trump Godzilla for me.
Oh, no.
I can watch this as its own thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obviously drawing parallels to
Godzilla
because it's the closest thing that we have.
Mm-hmm.
But like, let me say this: I'm not comparing it to Godzilla. Godzilla is special in its own thing. It is its own. It is. Godzilla is what it is,
right?
Because of years of it being the same thing, kind of, or new iterations of it.
Mm-hmm. It's more of a tradition now, as opposed to just.
As I was watching this, I wasn't watching this going like, oh, it has to be this, this, and this.
Right.
I'm like, it can do whatever it wants to be.
That's great.
So the fact that it could be gross and like kind of gory in some ways, and like a little bit aggressive and like, you know, maybe tentacly and weird. I'm like, you know what? It's its own thing. It's fine.
Won't see that in a Godzilla film.
You're right. Maybe
most
not.
Of the time.
Maybe not. And if so, it's probably going to be dealt with like a gravity-defying sidekick. You know what I mean?
Right.
What is it called? The suplex?
The tail drop kick.
The tail drop kick? Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably what it's going to be.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. The fact we have like a giant man called Jet Jaguar and just it's a dude in a suit.
Right.
It's just, you know, you're
the greatest.
An android that can apparently grow, ?
Mm-hmm.
That can, you know, it's crazy.
Buddy, if you think that's crazy, you wait till we get to Ultraman.
Oh, dude, I don't even.
I've shown you snippets.
Oh, I
of
know.
that.
I don't even think I'm emotionally ready for that yet.
Oh, it's gonna be
I'm
so
kidding.
good.
I'm playing, but yeah, I believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Ultraman sounds like gonna be crazy.
Just more like tokusatsu stuff in general, like Kamen Rider 2.
Yeah,
would be cool. Especially there's been a new show that I've heard about that is pretty good apparently.
Really?
Yeah, Kamen Rider Geats.
Oh,
I think is the title.
Geats.
Right.
What a weird name.
Mm-hmm. Looks pretty good though.
Mm. Love it.
Yeah.
There's a handful of stuff coming out this next year.
Oh God,
there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, everyone's kind of going crazy.
I'm losing track.
I know.
I gotta catch up.
Pretty sure the new Bethesda game Starfield's supposed to come out.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm like, that sounds fun.
I gotta get the new that Crisis Core remake that came out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Gotta put aside money for the pre-order for Armored Core.
Oh, dude. I'm probably gonna. I heard it's gonna come to Steam, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna drop so much goddamn money on that game. I think maybe not.
If there is any kind of collector's edition, it's gonna be mine.
You better believe if there's any kind of physical anything. After realizing that they have the entire audio CD collection of every single track from
that box set is still on my list.
The fact that they just have like a whole box set of all the music from all of the games throughout the years, I'm like, dude,
I need that.
I can't believe it. And I'm like, I'm just baffled. So,
in awe.
But yeah, I would love to collect some things like that. It'd be super cool.
Definitely.
So
that's like gonna be a bucket list item.
That's cool. I'm just, dude.
I'm glad it's back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude.
So
this whole month for me has been just kind of like a blur. I've been so busy. I've been busy with work, busy at work, busy with like everything. So it's just been one thing after the next. I feel like I would like doing these podcasts has been really good for me to be able just to kind of relax, like take a breath, have a chance to talk to you, and just like intentionally sit down, watch something, and then talk about it.
Right.
But between like editing these shows and like getting them all ready and stuff like that and everything, and then my regular job, and then just trying to do things for the holidays with Mallory and stuff.
Yeah.
I just feel like I just blinked, and I remember Thanksgiving, I remember Friendsgiving. We had so much fun. Everything was super cool.
Yeah.
And before you know it, I'm like, oh man,
it's already almost Christmas.
Right? Yeah. It's just crazy to think about this. Time is flying.
Yeah.
But it's just because I'm busy. I just need to relax. After the new year, I'm going to have some time to just like sit down and think, just collect myself, and then get ready for what's next to come. That's what I need right now. I'm just like, I just feel like I'm running.
I need is a vacation.
Yeah, dude.
I just need to not work for a while.
I'm telling you, after Easter, directly after Easter, I want to go for like a week. I'm just going to go chill in Florida.
Yeah.
If you're still down for that, like that's going to happen. It's like whatever Easter Sunday is, like I want that week after Easter Sunday.
That sounds great.
Because that's the first time where like my boss is like, you got free time at that point. All the big stuff's out the way. The hard part of the job's all done. So at that point, he's like, once that's all good, we got that locked down. I mean, it may not be the week after that. Maybe like the second week. So like I can like at least like the week after Easter, like have a chance to go into the office and like kind of just consolidate everything.
Yeah.
But like within that 1 or 2 weeks after Easter,
that's the grace period.
It's gonna be like not as hot, hopefully. Maybe not.
Here's hoping.
It'll still probably be warm. I mean, I'm not gonna go out here going, it's still gonna be cold outside.
Right.
It's Florida, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I'm imagining like it's not gonna be 90 degrees. At least I hope not in April or whatever that is. So could be.
We'll see.
But anyways, like I really want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to add to this show?
Yeah, I need to get a figure of Gamera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a really cool one I just saw online.
Just a nice little statuette of the boy.
Really cool.
Gaping hole in chest on a wall.
Fiery hand.
Big ass flame hand.
Blazing finger. Anyways, for those of you trying to figure out more about us or trying to get in touch with us, you can go to Linktree/Ian Wolf, and you can find all the links, all the social media platforms, all the different places you can host, or that we host our glorious podcast on.
Or you can put the nearest child in danger, and we will come spinning through the air to kill you.
Yeah. Or you can simply ride your horse to the nearest courier station and then deposit a envelope in the mailbox, and it will
a week later we will arrive in your mailbox
with an RSS feed in hand, ready for you just to enjoy the show
for the last time.
Right. Also, I heard if you weep hard into the dark of night at 3 a.m., it will also come to you in a dream.
We'll be there.
Yes. Those are just a couple of the many different ways you can get this podcast. But until next,
instructions to follow.
Yeah, we will have more. Don't worry. Until next week. Thank you so much for listening.
See you.
Bye.